Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at the best gaming PC build in the market for this year. First we're going to show you our top 8 best picks and we'll talk about what you should look for before buying a best gaming PC build. You can find links to all of the products we've mentioned in this video down in the description below. Let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Intel Core i9 12900. The Core i9 12900 opens a new tab represents the very best in Intel's desktop 12th generation processors and the fastest chip out there today. Its hybrid core architecture, characterized by Intel's addition of performance cores, P-cores and efficient cores, E-cores, gives it an edge, the P-cores especially, when it comes to gaming. It's second on our best C+ for gaming, opens a new tab list only because it's a little ridiculous and can get pretty pricey as a result, so it's the perfect recommendation for an intense build like this. You'll need a decent motherboard, some serious cooling, and a powerful PSU to get the most from it, but that's what this build is all about. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Gigabyte 690 Aorus Pro. With DDR5 support and space for up to 4 NVMe SSDs, the totally spec'd out Gigabyte 690 Aorus Pro opens a new tab is perfect for an extreme build. It leaves hardly a thing to be desired, with 13 rear USB ports and strong VRM for delivering clean and consistent power to your components. And by limiting it to Wi-Fi 6 and 2.5 Intel wired networking connections, and eschewing such unnecessary luxuries as Thunderbolt 4 or another M.2 slot, Gigabyte has managed to keep the price at least relatively sensible. The number 3 position is held by NZXT Kraken X62. This rig has a beastly CPU, and yes, it needs overclocking. Liquid cooling is highly recommended when you're trying to get the most out of Intel's unlocked enthusiast chips, and the 12th Gen Core i9 processors require it. The NZXT Kraken X62 is an impressive piece of kit and works with all major platforms. It's reasonably easy to install and features a large 200 ATEM radiator with a pair of 140 ATEM fans. Once everything is installed, having a small water block on your CPU instead of a massive air cooler makes things look much cleaner. You'll need a large case capable of housing the radiator, naturally, which we already took care of above. But even with the X62, you may run into thermal limitations. If you're serious about pushing the i9 12900 to its limits, you'll want to consider going with a fully custom liquid cooling loop. That's beyond this buying guide's scope. But know that even a good AO cooler likely won't allow maximum overclock with the i9 12900. Next at number 4 we have Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080 Ti. The GeForce RTX 3080 Ti opens a new tab, essentially offers the same gaming performance as the RTX 3090 but costs $300 less. Even here, with our extreme build, we can't help but keep a vague eye on value for money, and with the release of the 3080 Ti, Nvidia has basically retired the RTX 3090 when it comes to gaming. The RTX 3080 Ti is still a $1,200 graphics card, and that's if you net the Founders Edition and not a price your third-party job. It's hardly a budget option. The only reason you might want to track down an RTX 3090 still is if you want to pair up your graphics cards, as at least for Nvidia Ampere, the RTX 3090 is your only option for dual GPU action. Even with that installed, you'll still have to worry about whether the games you play will use both GPUs. And most don't, and support is only dwindling further as time marches on. Comparisons to the RTX 3090 aside, the key consideration for the RTX 3080 Ti is that it is a supremely capable card for gaming. Even ray tracing is on the table, especially if you're happy to turn on the modern magic that is DLSS 2.0 frame rates are smooth, and the final image quality stands up to scrutiny without issue. The number 5 position is held by G.Skill Trident Z5 DDR5 6400. You could put more memory into this build, up to 64, but 2 sticks of 16 DDR5 6400 RAM is more than sufficient for gaming. There are many memory options, and speed is more about bragging rights than actual performance, but we love the look of G.Skill's Trident Z5 RGB sticks. Sure, DDR5 is blisteringly fast compared to yesterday's standard, but most importantly, the designs haven't shied away from including pretty lighting. Besides G.Skill, we recommend Corsair, Kingston, HyperX, Crucial, Adata, and Team as safe picks. RAM has reached the point where most modules work well, so it's often a question of price and color, if that's your thing, rather than minuscule performance differences. The number 6 position is dominated by Sabrent Rocket Q. We've been pretty scathing about QLC SSDs in the past, even recently with Samsung's 870 QVO opens a new tab. But it seems that if you match the cheapest, slowest form of SSD memory with a high capacity in an M.2 interface, some magic happens. The Sabrent Rocket Q opens a new tab drive, packs a huge amount of storage into an SSD the size of a stick of gum, and still maintains performance on par with MLC drives. The Sabrent is not quite as bandwidth friendly as some other PCIe 4.0 drives, but without platform-wide PCIe 4.0 support on our chosen combination of CPU and motherboard, that speed would only go to waste. The Sabrent speed and capacity mean you can have a fast, capacious SSD boot drive without having to pick a slower option for data storage. If you're capturing a lot of footage or want to have all your games installed at any one point, the Sabrent Rocket Q is a genuinely impressive drive. Moving on to the next at number 7 with EVGA Supernova 1000 G5. A wise man once told us never to underestimate the power of the dark supply. Or something like that. The point is, you don't want a crappy PSU taking down the rest of your rig, and when you're putting together the best PC possible, that means getting an equally bodacious power supply. EVGA Supernova 1000 G5 is a great option to build an extreme rig around when it comes to power supplies. If the name hasn't given it away already, this sucker offers up 1000 watt power for your extreme build to turn into super smooth gaming experiences. And you'll need most of that, as the NVIDIA 12900 and 690 motherboard can draw a hell of a lot of power under load, and the RTX 3080 Ti is no wallflower either, and power draw only goes up if you're on the CPU and GPU overclocked, which is the point of an extreme build. If you only plan to run a more modest GPU, or a lower-tier CPU, like the iSven 12700, EVGA Supernova 850 T2 opens a new tab is a great alternative that will save some money. If you want to save even more, the Supernova 850 P2 opens a new tab, costs about $50, PS 50 less, and is every bit as good. But saving money isn't the objective here. Finally, the number 8 position is dominated by Corsair Obsidian 1000. The Corsair Obsidian Series 1000 is a behemoth of a PC case ready to house the biggest and baddest systems. Standing tall at a staggering 27.3 inches, this super tower boasts enough space to house 18 fans and up to 4 massive radiators installed simultaneously. The 1000 features a unique triple-chamber design with convenient French door-style storage compartments and telescoping radiator trays for easy installation, in addition to the stellar cooling support. Of course, there is also an RGB lit front panel I/O with built-in smart lighting and fan control courtesy of Corsair's integrated Commander Pro controller. The Obsidian 900 has long been a top choice for massive, over-the-top builds, and it only fits that the 1000 was designed to knock it off its throne. That's all for today. We upload computer and accessories product review videos every single day. So, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.